The Fantom ecosystem has been exploding. It's one of my favorite ecosystems to earn passive income and yield farm on. And in today's video, we're going to go over some of the most popular projects on the Fantom ecosystem, as well as dive into some strategies that I'm using myself. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I am Crypto with Nick. I'm a crypto enthusiast and DeFi investor, and I've been so excited to make this video because I truly believe that Fantom is one of the most undervalued ecosystems out there right now. If we look at DeFi Llama here, we can see that Fantom is number 5 at over $10 billion of total value locked. It's one of the few ecosystems to even see an increase over the last 1 month, which means that people are flooding into the Fantom ecosystem. And with all that money flooding into the Fantom ecosystem, it means they're going to be buying up some of the best projects. If we pull up DeFi Llama here, we can see the most popular apps with the highest total value locked. We're going to focus on a few of my favorite projects in the Fantom ecosystem and go over some of the strategies that I'm using. That's going to be on Tomb Finance, SpiritSwap, Beethoven, Liquid Driver, and this project here, Tomb, which is pretty new. Let's first start off with Tomb Finance or Tomb.com. This project is backed by billionaire Harry Yays, and the purpose of this project is to help solve Fantom's liquidity problem. About 60% of all Fantom tokens are locked in the validators, so this makes it really difficult to move large amounts of money, especially through something like centralized exchanges. So we have Tomb Finance here with over $900 million in total value locked, where one Tomb equals one Fantom, and we have tons of different things we can do here. My favorite thing to do is to visit the cemetery, where I provide liquidity for Tomb Fantom. And if we click this view option here, we can see that by providing liquidity for Tomb Fantom, we're going to get paid out 95% APR. This is actually going to be paid out in T shares. And so you have a couple options. You can of course sell off your T shares and compound your position, or you can come here to the masonry, stake your T shares and get almost 1200% APR. And if you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I'm always going to be telling you where's the best place to get yield on Fantom and many other ecosystems. By staking T-shares, you can see here that you earn more Tomb by staking T-share. Now, I already would say that Tomb Finance has about a medium risk to it, so I'm not super interested in holding T-shares. I think that's more of the degen play, where you can earn really high APRs. It's more of the rebase style, but I'm much more comfortable with just being in the cemetery and providing this APR here of 95%. I'd then like to take my liquidity tokens and visit something like Beefy Finance, where I can use an auto compounder. Here we have Tomb Fantom LP, and I can earn that 157% APY. So earning 95% on Fantom is exceptionally good. But we should talk about how this project keeps its peg, so that way you can do your own research and build confidence whether or not it's something you want to invest into. So here for this project, we have 3 main tokens. We have the Tomb token, we have T-shares, and we have the T-bonds. So the Tomb token is pretty simple. It's the token designed to be the algo-backed stablecoin pegged to a Fantom. And if we check out Tomb shares here, right, this is one of the ways that they measure value of the Tomb protocol and the shareholders' trust and the ability to maintain the peg. It says here that the protocol mints Tomb and distributes it proportionally to all T-shares holders who have their stakings in the boardroom. Remember, if we go back here, we can click on the masonry, stake our T-shares, and earn Tomb. Now the T-bonds is really what helps keeps the project pegged. We can see here that this is what helps incentivize Tomb supply during each epoch contraction period. When the TWAP, the time weighted average price of Tomb, falls below 1 Fantom, T-bonds can be issued at Tomb's current price. Meaning if Tomb is say trading at 0.97 of 1 Fantom, you can buy T-bonds at 0.97. And when you buy T-bonds, what this does is this actually burns Tomb tokens, which takes them out of circulation and helps keep that price, right? When you remove tokens from circulation, ideally the price should trend back up towards the peg. And then as the price trends back towards the peg, you then can take your T-bond and redeem it for Tomb, right? This is what helps keep the peg. It relies on arbitrager taking advantage of when the project falls below the TWAP and then redeeming when it's above it. So to recap, the first part of my strategy is to basically just provide liquidity for Tomb Fantom. But recently, Harry Yays in the Tomb Finance project has announced partnerships with other forks of Tomb. We can see here a tweet from Harry Yays' account that they are now supporting these 2 forks known as 2 Tomb and 3 Tomb, and he released a Medium article recently. In this Medium article, it basically goes on to say that we need accountability in the crypto space. And since these projects are also pegged to the Fantom coin, right, this again helps Harry Ziyeh's vision of adding more liquidity for Fantom. And so we can see here that they wanted to announce that they are now supporting 2-tomb and 3-tomb finance. So now let's introduce this next project. You'll notice that it looks extremely similar, but I have my other half of my funds here. And the reason for that is that the APRs are significantly higher. This is 1900%. Now let's check out the chart. This thing has been going parabolic lately, and that's mainly because of the support from Harry Ziyeh. But you have to remember that this can be quite risky. I mean, just in the last few days ago, it's up 84%. And if this is supposed to represent the peg of Fantom, well then now it's severely overpegged. So I do have some funds in here, but this is definitely more of a high risk project. But I'm doing the exact same thing here. I'll come back to Beefy, and we can see here that if we find the 2-tomb pair, then we can see that this APY is 43 billion%. And so I have half of my money in Tomb Fantom, and then I have other half of the money here in the 2-tomb Fantom pair. All right, that's enough about Tomb. Let's introduce one of my next favorite projects here, which is SpiritSwap. SpiritSwap is a decentralized exchange on the Fantom ecosystem, but a lot of people call it the curve of Fantom. There's so many things to do in this app. The TVL is 355 million and the token has a market cap of 50 million. Of course, we can exchange coins, right, between like any other decentralized exchange. They have something called ape mode for non-US users, which allows you to take on leverage multiples. Of course, you can provide liquidity and farm, and I really like the Zap feature. Basically, if you have Fantom coins, you can choose an LP pair, and it kind of just saves you an extra step, right? You don't have to like take your Fantom, sell half of it, buy another coin, right? So you can automatically just zap your Fantom coins into an LP pair. But I really want to focus on the farm section and the in-spirit section. So in the farm section, I'm personally providing liquidity and farming right now Spirit Fantom and Liquid Driver Fantom, but I'm doing it on another platform other than Beefy, which I'll introduce shortly. But let's talk about here. We can see that the APR has this range, and that range is because you can get boosted rewards by locking up the native token Spirit. And I really like some of these rewards here. Here we have USDC Fantom for 29%. We have Frax Fantom for 69%. We have My Fantom. My is a stable coin for 76%. So if we go to the section in Spirit, we can see what I was talking about by calling SpiritSwap the curve of Fantom. The way that emissions and APRs are rewarded to those farms is through gauges. And so this allows projects to buy up the native token Spirit, lock it up to 4 years, we can see here to 2026, then they can vote on their pools to receive emissions. We can see that some of the winners here are Liquid Driver Fantom and Spirit Fantom. And this is really important for two reasons. The first reason is it allows the Spirit token to have more utility and value as projects buy it and lock it up so that they can redirect emissions to their pools, right? That puts a lot of buying pressure on Spirit as well as taking it out of circulation. The second part is that these native token projects like Liquid Driver no longer have to give out as much inflationary rewards because instead they can redirect the Spirit emissions to their farms. And with this, if you also buy Spirit and lock it up, these projects can then bribe you for your vote to help vote for their pool to again increase those emissions. So you can actually do that as well. And if you're locking up Spirit, you are going to earn 43% APR all while doing this. Now we're going to talk about my absolute favorite project on Fantom, which is Liquid Driver. And if Spirit is the curve of Fantom, then Liquid Driver is the convex of Fantom. The project right here has over $300 million in total value locked with a market cap of only 36 million, right? This is a really small market cap. Liquid Driver's whole strategy is to provide liquidity as a service. It does that by partnering with the #1 decentralized exchanges on Fantom. We can see here that they've partnered with SpiritSwap, SpookySwap, Magicland, which is a curve factory pool, and Beethoven. So remember I said I liked Liquid Driver Fantom on SpiritSwap as well as Spirit Fantom. We can see here that Liquid Driver Fantom is earning 102% APR. If we come back over here to SpiritSwap, we can see that that same pair, a base APR of 32%, if you do buy Spirit and lock it up for 4 years, you could get as well as 75%, but that's still not nearly as high as 102. And the reason for that is because Liquid Driver pays out rewards in its own token as well as the trading fees here. We can see that the APR in Liquid Driver is 98%, and then the trading fees that you're getting, which means from people swapping on the platform, is about 4.5%. And normally I wouldn't touch projects like this because the token is hyperinflationary and usually all farm tokens trend towards zero, but you can actually take Liquid Driver and lock it up. And the reason why this is so powerful is because we can see here that the average lock time is 622 days, right? That means people are coming here with Liquid Driver and they're locking it up for 2 years, and there's a reason for that. The main reason is that, first of all, that's going to take Liquid Driver out of circulating supply. That's why it has such a low circulating market cap of only 36 million. The real market cap is probably around 150 or 200 million. And when you decide to stake Liquid Driver for X Liquid Driver, you can earn 107%. And this is paid out in partnership projects. Look at this, you'll get 50% in Spirit, 22% in Boo, a little bit of Spell, and then 11% in Beats. And there's one more key component when it comes to Liquid Driver, is that people believe that Liquid Driver can accumulate all the TVL to help control that SpiritSwap gauges. And so they have this thing here called Lend Spirit, where you can essentially provide them Spirit and they'll give you a wrapped liquid version of Spirit. This allows you to gain APR fees of Spirit without having to actually lock it up. And so you won't get to do things like maybe vote on emissions, but you'll still get the APR. But that gives Liquid Driver the ability to vote. So if we come back over here to in Spirit, now what Liquid Driver can do is it can take those Spirit and redirect emissions towards its pool. That's probably why Liquid Driver and Fantom has almost the largest capture here. Of course, coming back to Liquid Driver, another thing you can do with all these rewards being paid out, right, in Liquid Driver, in Lend Spirit, and Boo, and Beats, is that you can actually then take these back into the farm and you could just compound these positions and continue to farm even more. So let's recap. My strategy right now is to farm Liquid Driver Fantom and Spirit Fantom. This is paid out in Liquid Driver token. I'm taking the rewards from both of these pools and I'm actually compounding them all into Liquid Driver Fantom just because I'm more bullish right now. All right, it's time to talk about my last favorite project on the Fantom ecosystem. It is Beats Finance or Beethoven. It's an officially recognized friendly fork of Balancer on Fantom. The reason why Balancer or Beethoven is so unique and innovative is because normal liquidity pairs are 50-50. But if we come over here to the farm section, we can see here that these pairs are not 50-50. Instead, they're weighted. If we check out this pool here, we can see that this pool is 80% Beats and 20% Fantom. And so let's check out some of my favorite pools here. Some of them would be Fantom of the Opera. So this is going to be 70% Fantom and 30% USDC paid out in 58% APR. This is going to be really helpful in capturing a lot of nice upside for Fantom, but kind of giving you some downside protection with the stablecoin. A few other pools I really like here. One is the Grand Orchestra, which is going to be Fantom Bitcoin ETH, paying out 35%. And this is one of my favorites here, which is Pirate Party. Of course, you know I love Liquid Driver. This is going to be an 80% Liquid Driver pair and 20% Fantom, paying out 105% APR. So what I've been considering lately is taking my LP tokens out of this pool, which is a 50-50 pair, and putting them in Beethoven. Just because of how bullish with Liquid Driver I am, this would allow me to capture a little bit more of the upside. So all of this pays out in the Beats token here. And what's really cool is that you can actually take your Beats token, come here and stake it for 100% APR. And Beats recently announced that they were going to announce gauges similar to that of SpiritSwap that we talked about, where if you take the native token and lock it up, you can go ahead and vote on pools for emissions. And this allowed projects to indicate bribes to their users. I wrote an entire thread on this on Twitter. I drop a lot of information here first before I can get to it on YouTube. So if it's something you're interested in, go check it out. Give me a follow. So on my Twitter thread, I mentioned 4 projects that have put up incentives to encourage voters to vote for their pool. We can see here things like One Ring Finance, Exodia, 100, and Liquid Driver. So Liquid Driver has put up 400 tokens, meaning if you vote for their pool Pirate Party, you would receive a portion of this spread out among all voters as a reward. Now let's walk through this. If I'm invested in this pool Pirate Party of Liquid Driver Fantom, I'm then being paid out 104% in the Beats token, which I can come stake that for another 100% APR. Then I'm going to have projects like Liquid Driver bribe me for my vote to vote for their pool, which is going to then increase the emissions of the pool that I'm already invested in. All right, now let's start at the top and recap just all of my different strategies. First, we'll start with Tomb Finance, where I'm providing liquidity for Tomb Fantom earning 95% APR. Then we'll go to one of the partner supported projects, which is also Tomb Finance, and I'm providing liquidity here for Tomb Fantom, which is earning me 1900% APR. For SpiritSwap, I'm mainly interested in Spirit Fantom and Liquid Driver Fantom, but I've taken my liquidity receipt tokens and I've actually put them here on Liquid Driver's site, and these ones here, Liquid Driver Fantom and Spirit Fantom. And then finally, Beethoven. This is not a project I've put money into yet, but I do trust it. But I'm looking at Pirate Party, which is the 80% Liquid Driver and 20% Fantom. And that wraps up all of my strategies on the Fantom ecosystem. Before we end the video, let's check out a few things. Let's see how Bitcoin's doing. I love that we have broken this downward channel here. We've got this giant green candle. I'll be very interested to see how next week goes. And if you want real-time information on things that I'm buying or selling or investing in, come join my Discord. Links in the bio. Of course, it's free. You can see here that I gave some updates that I went ahead and entered a GLP position on Avalanche, that I bought an NFT, and then I entered Tomb Finance. This was about yesterday. I hope you've enjoyed that overview of the Fantom ecosystem and some strategies that I'm doing. If you're in the Fantom ecosystem, go ahead and drop a comment below. I would love to hear which projects you're looking at or which projects you're excited for. Cheers, happy farming, see you in the next one.